The 7th lesson in this module will introduce you to the print function. In this lesson, you will learn about changing worksheet margins, worksheet orientation, paper size, and page setting to fit worksheet contents. Also, you will learn to add, delete, and edit headers and footers, text and fields. In addition to these, you will learn to check and correct spreadsheet calculations and text, turn on, off display of grid lines and row and column headings for printing purposes. You will learn to apply automatic title rows for printing on every page of a printed worksheet, preview a worksheet, and print selected cells, worksheet, spreadsheet, and a selected chart. Page margins can be adjusted to fit the page. To adjust margins, follow these steps. Click the Page Layout tab. Click the Margin button in the Page Setup group. A drop-down list with various margin options will be displayed. From these options, select Narrow Margin. Page margins in the ruler will change accordingly. Documents may be displayed in Portrait or Landscape mode. Portrait is a vertical display and Landscape is a horizontal display. Portrait is the default mode. To change the orientation, click the Page Layout tab. Click the Orientation button in the Page Setup group. A drop-down list with the orientation options will be displayed. Select the Landscape option. The orientation of the document will change to a horizontal display. Depending on the requirement and the type of paper on which the document has to be printed, you have the option to change the paper size to increase or decrease the work area. Follow these steps to change the paper size. Click the Page Layout tab. Then click the Size button in the Page Setup group. A drop-down list showing various page sizes will be displayed. Select the option A4. The size of the work area will change as per selection. It is possible to change the default page setup to fit the content on the page. Follow these steps to change the page setup size. Click the View tab on the ribbon. Click the Page Break Preview button in Workbook Views group. Screen interface will change, showing the pages on which the content will print. A dotted blue line will show the page division. Point the mouse pointer on the dotted line. The shape of the pointer will change to a double-sided arrow. Click and drag the page break to a new location. The content within the blue line will now be displayed on one page. You can follow the same procedure to adjust vertical content. In Spreadsheets, you can add headers or footers to provide useful information in worksheet printouts. For example, you can add predefined header and footer information, or insert elements such as page numbers, date and time, and the file name. To define where in the printout the headers or footers should appear, and how they should be scaled and aligned, you can choose from several header and footer options. Follow these steps to add a header and a footer in the spreadsheet. Click the Insert tab. Then click the Text button. Click Header and Footer button from the drop-down menu. The Header and Footer menu will appear. Enter header name in the box. For example, type the word Demo in the box. Click in the footer box. Enter the footer name in the box. For example, type the word Report in the box. The header and footer will be added to the spreadsheet. you will be able to view it in the Page Layout view. You can insert elements such as page numbers, date and time, and the file name in headers and footers in a spreadsheet. Follow these steps to add auto fields. Click the Insert tab. Click the Text button. Then select the option Header and Footer from the drop-down list. Interface to add header will appear on the screen. Click the Page Number button. Spreadsheet will now have a page number in the header section. Click the highlighted cell in the header. Insertion point will move inside the box. Then click the Current Date button. Spreadsheet will now have Current Date in the header section. Click the highlighted cell in the header. Insertion point will move inside the box. Click the Current Time button. Spreadsheet will now have Current Time in the header section. Click the Go to Footer button. Insertion point will move to the footer box. Click the File Name button. Spreadsheet will now have File Name in the footer section. Click the highlighted cell in the footer. Insertion point will move to the footer box. Then click the Sheet Name button. Spreadsheet will now have Sheet Name in the footer section. The elements such as page numbers, date and time, and the file name in headers and footers in a spreadsheet will be inserted. Follow these steps to delete the headers and footers from a spreadsheet. In the Header and Footer tools, select the Header drop-down. Then select the option None. The header will be removed. Then click the Footer drop-down. Then click the option None. The footer will be removed. Spell check is a useful feature that corrects spelling and grammar within a document. Follow these steps to use the spell check function. Click on Review tab of the ribbon. Click the Spelling button. A pop-up will appear. By default, it will show the first spelling error and a list of suggestions. Click on the Change button. The selected word will be replaced, and spell check will move on to the next word. You will see a complete pop-up once spell check is completed. Click OK to complete the operation. Formula Checker is a useful feature which helps in tracing calculation errors and suggests the correct formulae. Follow these steps to use Formula Checker. Click the Formulas tab of the ribbon. Click on Error Checking button in the Formula Auditing group. A pop-up window will appear. The pop-up will highlight the potential error and offer an option to correct the formula. It is possible to turn off and on grid lines and row and columns headings in the spreadsheet for printing purposes. Follow these steps to change the settings. Click the View tab. Uncheck the Grid Lines checkbox to hide the grid lines from the sheet. Uncheck the Headings checkbox to hide the rows and columns headings. The spreadsheet is now without grid lines and headings. To display the grid lines back, check the Grid Lines checkbox. To display the headings back, check the Headings checkbox. The spreadsheet is back to its original view. The Print Titles command allows you to select specific rows and columns to appear on each page. Follow these steps to apply a row title. Click the Page Layout tab. Click the Print Titles button. Click in the field Rows to repeat at top in the Page Setup pop-up. Now click on the rows which you want to display in the title. For example, click on the first row. Then press the Shift key and click Second Row. Click the OK button to confirm the settings. Follow these steps to preview a worksheet before printing. Click on File tab to access the Backstage view. Click the Print button. You can see the preview of the worksheet on the right side of the page. Follow these steps to print a selected cell range from a worksheet. Left-click on the top right highlighted cell and drag the mouse to the bottom left cell in the range before releasing the button. Click the File tab. Click the Print button. Click on the first drop-down under Settings section. Click the option Print Selection from the drop-down. You also have the option to print multiple copies of the same sheet. Click in the Copies box. Type number 2 to print 2 copies. Click the Print button to print 2 copies. Follow these steps to print an entire worksheet. Click the File tab. Click the Print button. Click the first drop-down under Settings section. Click on the option Print Active Sheets. Click the Print button to print the copy. Follow these steps to print an entire spreadsheet. Click the File tab. Click the Print button. Click the first drop-down under Settings section. Click the Print Entire Workbook option. Click the Print button to print the copy. The entire workbook will be printed. Follow these steps to print a selected chart. Click the chart to select it. Click the File tab. Click the Print button. Only one option, Print Selected Chart, is enabled. Click the Print button to print the chart. The chart will be printed. Practical exercises. You have completed the lesson Prepare Outputs. In this lesson, you learned how to change worksheet margins, worksheet orientation, paper size, and page setup to fit worksheet contents. Also, you learned how to add, delete, and edit headers and footers, text and fields. In addition to these, you also learned how to check and correct spreadsheet calculations and text, to turn on, off, display of grid lines and row and column headings for printing purposes. You learnt the method of applying automatic title, row or rows for printing on every page of a printed worksheet, previewing a worksheet and printing selected cells, worksheet, spreadsheet, and a selected chart.